that what's God doing in Nacala amongst the unreached?
Yeah, I think it's really special. The first time we went out, we did an outreach where we brought people down from Pemba and a bunch of solar Bibles. And it was our first outreach in the area, first time Iris had done anything in these villages. They don't know us. They weren't familiar with kind of our model. We'd done a bunch in Cabo Delgado, so when Iris comes to villages, people know. But these were people that had no idea. And one of the biggest things, we gave them like buckets and food and things like that. But we had these solar Bibles. So we passed these solar Bibles out, and there was just one guy. Just sometimes you can just tell when the Spirit's on somebody. We passed out the solar Bible, and he just always stayed next to us. He was always listening, just so hungry. He took the solar Bible, and then we left. This was a village like 2 hours away. So we get a call maybe a month later, 2 months later, from this guy. And he said, I am now the pastor of the church. We took the solar Bibles. We planted a church. I am now the pastor of the church. Please, will you come disciple us? We're Iris now. We had no...
They decided. They
no
planted their own church.
We had no... Somehow he got our number. Like, it was just... And from that one church, we now have almost 20, 21 churches, mostly planted through solar Bibles. And honestly, it's a work of the Lord. It is a work of the Spirit.
Okay, define church. People hear church and they go, talk about it. Yeah.
These are people who hear from the audio Bibles or hear from their friend groups about Jesus. And a lot of them are meeting under trees. They're meeting in neighbors' houses. Some of them have built little shade shacks so they can meet and worship, and they're learning, and they're trying to just listen to the solar Bibles and do the stuff. And so that's a lot of our work now, is trying to figure out how to disciple these people who say, I heard the word, I'm responding to Jesus, but I also don't really know what that means. Please help me. And it's a privilege to be able to walk through that discipleship in these moments where it feels like God's Spirit is just putting himself out there. Wow. Like you were saying, we just show up, and it's either God does something or he doesn't, and he wants to do something. That's why he's in this area. So it's really special to see. And it's mostly through these solar Bibles, which is awesome.
We have no church planning strategy.
Went to university.
Talk
have
about
degrees for this.
What do you mean?
We and not that they're bad, we just don't have one. When we first got there, I had someone tell me, they were like, these people don't want Jesus. No one's going to convert.
A missionary.
A missionary, yeah. Another missionary told me.
Yeah.
He said, no one here is going to convert. They don't want Jesus. And, I walked away from that meeting very disheartened for him.
Yeah.
And I'd been warned those conversations would come. I didn't think they were real.
Oh, they're real.
And I've watched people love Jesus over and over and over and over. It's about this size, maybe a little smaller.
We might even have one around here somewhere.
Yeah, they're got a little solar panel in the back, and then on the other side it will have just buttons and a little speaker, and so they can change either from Portuguese, which is national language in Mozambique, to local dialect. For us, is Makua. And they can play, they can skip chapters, they can go book by book, and sometimes we're able to add little teachings at the end or music or whatever. And we watched time after time after time. Even back when we were doing the outreach up in the red zone in Cabo Delgado during the war, we would give out food, but we would also give out the solar Bibles. I can't tell you how many people come to the Lord though, over and over and over. And we'd go to villages that hadn't had a food drop, and these are starving people.
Yeah, the
hadn't had a food drop
everything.
2 months. And we're coming with a food drop, and the first thing they asked me is, because they didn't know what to call it, they would say, radio, do you have a radio? And it would be this little thing. They would go, oh, thank you. We were on a tiny little island one time, tiny little rock of an island, and it was where people would get away to rest away from the war, because it was just far enough off the coast.
Is that the island that we were at doing the...
No, a little one north of that. And this guy shows up, and he goes, I got this a few weeks ago, and I believe it. And that is happening over and over and over again in Nacala now, where people just get them. And the cool thing now is some of the people that got them a year and a half ago and are now loving Jesus are now on fire, filled with the Holy Spirit, and going out and evangelizing themselves. Yeah. And it's the Spirit multiplies himself. He's the one doing the multiplication. We have a little guy named Manuel that, he was a staunch Muslim, got saved. And some people, when they get saved. Yeah. Manuel got saved. Yeah. Full of the Holy Spirit. And I found out he's paying his own way to go on the little minibuses out to villages and evangelize and sharing the gospel. He might be 18, 17 or 18, just full of fire. Yeah. And it's just so, I feel sad to say it, and in a way, it's just so easy. Because the pressure, I don't feel the pressure on us to do that. Yeah. It's the Lord is doing something, and we're just...